Welcome back to Voices of the Valley. I'm Harry Schroeder. You're watching it here on ValleyHoopsInsider.com, and Mike Reis is here, the play-by-play voice of the Southern Illinois Salukis. And I was asking you about baseball. You cover all the sports at SIU. You frequent driver miles. I mean, like, you're out there. You're everywhere.
Yeah, well, I put some miles on, but I still like it. I do football, basketball, and baseball. Baseball, we don't do the whole schedule. We'll start after the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Baseball is my favorite sport, Harry. It's the one I think I know the most about. It's the only one I had any sort of semblance of ability to play, and I couldn't play. But I think basketball is probably my best sport, and the reason that I've been around as long as I've been around.
How long for you at Southern Illinois?
40 years. This is the 40th year, yeah. Went to school there. Nobody else would hire me, so I never left.
It's Mike Reis. He's the play-by-play guy for Southern Illinois. I've asked a number of people this during this weekend already, if it's not Loyola, because they would be maybe the mild favorite in this tournament, who do you expect to win? And to a man, people are telling me it's Southern Illinois.
Well, I can see that, and I think they would have said that, Harry, in November as well. I think with 6 seniors, with all that Southern had returning, the Salukis should be a pick like that. And frankly, they should have had a better year than what they had. But for one thing or another, most of it self-ingested, self-caused. They had a bad January. But they have righted themselves. Not only have they won 3 in a row, but they've won 5 out of 6, and they're playing the ball that most people expected them. Certainly SIU fans expected. It's been a cohesive club. It's been a defensive-oriented club. It's been an unselfish club, and they have righted the ship coming here to St. Louis, and we'll see if it continues on the same course.
A year ago, and then again this year, Barry was talking Floorburn U is back, and I don't know if these teams resemble those teams, but they do play defense.
Yeah, they do, and Southern is statistically and also on the eye test one of the better defensive teams in the league. And Southern can guard, especially can guard the 3, and Shawn Lloyd can guard the other team's best player. And it'll be interesting to watch him here in St. Louis, and if they put him on A.J. Green of Northern Iowa in the first game, the 3-6 game on Friday night, because Shawn has an amazing ability that when he's cut in defensively, he is very good offensively. And there are frequent games this season when he'll score 18 to 22 points and hold the other player to half his average with the same number of shots. So it's impressive, and I think Shawn Lloyd defensively is key for a Saluki club that needs good defense and can play good defense in this tournament.
Well, I was going to ask you, what's the key? That sounds like maybe the key between the teams. Barry Henson's been there a while now, and he's been around the league forever. Talk about working with Barry.
Well, it's he's a joy. He also is I said this at the start. He's heard me say this. It didn't mean he liked it. He has heard me say this to his face too, because of the Missouri State connection and all of the games. And he beat Southern 10 times, and Southern's really good teams from 02 to 07. A lot of Southern's losses in the league came at the hands of Missouri State. He's a better coach than SIU fans ever thought he was. He is a good basketball coach. He's a good human being. You don't notice the human being part until you get to know him, until you're around him virtually on a daily basis. And I think that's the thing that stands out about him and kind of creates a total package. Early, you understood that he was a better basketball coach because he's not just the sideline antics that we saw at Missouri State. Which, as a side note, he has calmed a lot of those down until recently when they started playing well, and then he brought those back. But you tended just to focus on those things, Harry, and not the coaching. And he's a good basketball coach, and he's a very good person.
You guys take on Northern Iowa on Friday, and you talk about good people, good coaches. Ben Jacobson's been around a long time, and he's accomplished a lot.
Yeah, he sure has. And they gave him time, too, Harry. I think people forget the start that they did well to get to 500 because he took over for McDermott, who was very well viewed there, and rightfully so, and had earned terrific respect and got a great job out of that one. And I don't think it happened for Jacobson right away, but they hung with him, and then they had a great run. They were the team that took Southern's spot in those places after 2007. Drake won it in '08, and then Southern tumbled, and one of the schools that came up was Northern Iowa. He's done a terrific job, and he has done a great job, I think, of being himself, and he's both been fortunate and also has worked hard to make the place where he is the best fit a successful fit for him too.
Final question, we're here in St. Louis and Armon Fletcher's from just across the river. Talk about his season. There was that little period where he wasn't playing and then he was back and then he wasn't playing again. And just talk about Armon.
Well, he's missed 9 games, Harry. In 3 he was hurt with a knee, got hurt at Kentucky in the opener, and then he missed 6 games for a suspension. And I think the suspension is the reason why he's not all conference. I know we couldn't vote for Southern's players, but I know if another Valley school lost a starter for 6 games, I wouldn't vote him all conference unless he just did amazing things and he was a first-round draft choice or something like that, an obvious pro. And Armon will make money playing the game. He is a great shooter. One of the great things about watching SIU practice, when he's in the corner and open, I'll bet he shoots 75% there. He is tremendous in the corner. He's an excellent shooter. He's a very, very likable person who's a much more confident person than he was even earlier this season. And he comes into this tournament red hot. His ability to score, Kavion Pippin's ability to score and defend are 2 huge keys for SIU up here.
Appreciate your time.
Anytime, Harry. Thank you.
That's Mike Reis. He's the play-by-play voice of the Southern Illinois Salukis. You've been watching Voices of the Valley here on ValleyHoopsInsider.com.